The report surprised many. China's anti-espionage agencies have killed or imprisoned up to 20 sources for CIA agents of the United States operating in China. The intelligence breach has been described as one of the worst failures in decades.
Well, the U.S. is like any major power. They spy on anyone that's perceived to be competition for empire or anyone who might threaten that.
According to the reports, Chinese intelligence busted the CIA network between 2010 and 2012. The network had taken years to build, and its dismantlement has negatively impacted CIA's operations in China. There are different stories on how the network was busted by the Chinese.
For example, the U.S. invests a great deal in espionage in Chinese state companies, particularly the state oil company. That's one of the major competitors globally for oil, energy resources.
Some U.S. intelligence officials believe a mole inside the CIA is responsible for the disaster. But others believe China has hacked the system CIA used to make contact with its foreign sources.
It's hard to judge exactly how deep that it goes, but certainly there's a great deal of hacking as well. I mean, the United States already acknowledges that the greatest espionage enemy of the United States is China. They're their largest competitor in that field.
According to some reports, one of the CIA agents was gunned down in the courtyard of a government building. That has been interpreted by many as a warning to others who may be working for the CIA.
Sometimes the U.S. uses English teachers that get sent over and they report on the education system. Quite often U.S. businessmen who go there to do deals with the Chinese companies often record a great deal of information or are briefed by some kind of intelligence agency.
China has had its own espionage activities inside the US, and that has surprised many US experts. Back in 2015, Chinese agencies hacked into the Office of Personnel Management Records, stealing the secret information of thousands of intelligence contractors.
Well, China it spends a great deal of resources spying on the U.S. There's absolutely no denying that. That's their biggest competitor.
Last year, an FBI employee pleaded guilty to acting as a Chinese agent. And back in March, a State Department employee was also accused of having ties with Chinese officials.
The Chinese government will often recruit tourists that are going to go over anyway and tell them to go to specific locations, collect as much data as you can, particularly as regards to exchange programs, trade missions, and scientific cooperation programs.
China and the United States are two global powers, and they are at loggerheads over several issues. First is China's activities in the South China Sea. The US sees them as a threat and publicly works with its allies in the region, including Japan and South Korea, to contain China. Second is the trade war between the two. The Trump administration has upped the ante against Beijing over trade and devaluation. And third is North Korea. Washington blames Beijing for Pyongyang's unruly behavior. Could the latest revelations add more salt to an already open wound?